Hello and welcome to Female Cricket Live. The 26th match of the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup was played today between New Zealand and Pakistan, which New Zealand went on to win by 71 runs. Batting first, New Zealand posted a fighting score of 265 for 8 in 50 overs, thanks to Susie Bates, who scored 126 runs of 135 balls and in the process became the first New Zealander to go past 5,000 ODI runs. For Pakistan, it was Nida Dar who was the pick of the bowlers as she picked up 3 for 39 in her 10 overs, including one maiden over as well. In reply, Pakistan could manage to score only 194 for 9 in 50 overs as they fell shy of 71 runs in the end. It was Nida Dar again with the bat who top scored for Pakistan with a brilliant 50 and received good support from captain Biswa Maroof who chipped in with 38. While for New Zealand, it was Hannah Rowe who wrecked havoc with the ball, picking up 5 for 55 in her 10 overs to give New Zealand the much needed win that they needed at the end of the World Cup. Now, after this match, we can see that the World Cup campaign of both these teams, New Zealand and Pakistan, has been done and dusted. New Zealand, after playing 7 matches, have won 3 out of them, while Pakistan have managed to win just 1 match out of the 7 matches that they have played. Now, ahead of us, we have one of the most exciting contests, I would say, of this World Cup, that is between India and South Africa. It is going to be a do or die match for India, given the fact that if they win, they will qualify for the semi-finals, and if India loses, then West Indies have a stronger chance of making it to the semi-finals. Now, to talk more about the India-South Africa contest, I have with me Dinesha Devnarayan, Lezogo Pui, Meer Shah, Dhanush Lavanya, and Urvi Shah. So Dinesha Devnarayan is a former captain of South Africa women's cricket team, and since 2020, she has been the head coach of South Africa women's under-19 team. Then we have Lezogo Pui, who likes to be called as Lee. So Lee is an avid cricket writer and a seasoned cricket presenter. She was also the team manager for South Africa when they toured India in 2019. Then we have Meer Shah, who is an avid cricket follower and member of the North Stand Gang, which is a sports enthusiastic community of Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. We have Dhanush Lavanya, who is content writer at Female Cricket, and Urvi Shah, who is a mental health facilitator and an avid cricket writer. So I welcome all of you to Female Cricket Live.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks
All
for
Thank you.
right,
having us.
great, great. So again, a full house. Just like when we were previewing the match between West Indies and South Africa, there were a lot of fireworks. Thanks to Dinesha and Lee, of course, who are present here, and of course to Krizania and Dr. Anand, our Caribbean friends. So I am hoping for some more fireworks because there are 3 Indians out here and a couple of South Africans in this conversation. All right. So to begin with you, Dinesha, my first question would be: are you happy that South Africa have qualified for the semi-finals with that 1 point because of the match abandoned against West Indies, or are you a little unhappy that you could not get a complete day of cricket against West Indies?
Yeah, I think. Look, I'm extremely happy that we qualified for the World Cup. It's unfortunate that it had to happen through rain, and I think that's the sad part or the difficult part because we want to see cricket. We want to see cricket being played. And well, or the other thing that I'm grumpy about is that I have to keep waking up every hour. So there was no match, but I still couldn't get any sleep in. But I think the disappointing thing from our front was, we lost 4 wickets very cheaply. Um, and if the game had gone its full throttle, it would have been very interesting to see the result of that game. And we would have tested the likes of Marizan, Chloe, even Mignon there. She was batting brilliantly. And we would have tested them going longer on into the game to see if they can close the game with enough overs. But yeah, it was unfortunate, but I'm really happy for the girls. I'm excited as a nation, as a country. We're really proud. The media in South Africa is crazy. Everyone's behind the girls. So yeah, I would want to see a full game of cricket, and my heart goes out to the West Indies. But I think we had our fair share of rain in our previous World Cups.
Yeah, definitely. But tomorrow we are not expecting any kind of bad weather, but it's going to be a full-time game that as Dinesha wants it. So, which brings me to the question, Mihir. I would like to know your thoughts that since we are playing a very crucial game tomorrow against South Africa, do you see India going ahead with Shefali Verma, or do you see someone else making cut for her?
I would like to have Shefali in the team. Because we have always spoken her like how the way she can bat and she with the strike rate what she has the capability to score at more than 100 run strike rate. She is a very good player. Yeah, she has been say 50-50 kind of a form, but yeah, we have to, I think we should go ahead with her. Yeah, it's a must win game. Everybody knows there are a lot of senior players to support you, motivate you. So I don't think so for youngsters that is going to be a challenge. Then they are also, they're playing for last couple of years, so they know that it's a pressure game, must win game, and you have to bring your A game out. It is like South Africa has been the top two teams, like Australia and South Africa have done fantastically well in this tournament. It is there. If Australia was a team to win, the second it's South Africa. It is there. Yeah, we might not have a good recent record against South Africa, but that's against a record. It is there. So it's a new day, new game, World Cup. So it's pressure for South Africa also to keep performing well, be consistent. It is there, and Dinesh, I just mentioned they had lost 4 wickets quickly. If we kind of create that kind of a pressure, then we might put them under more pressure and get the situation in our favor.
So I think as we were talking a bit about Shefali Verma between Mihir and Urvi, they were just discussing about Shefali Verma. So Lee, I would like to ask you that Chloe Tryon, in one of her media interactions, she mentioned that she's looking at the matchup between Shabnim Ismail and Shefali Verma, and Chloe Tryon is pretty confident that Shabnim Ismail will be able to get the better of Shefali Verma. Do you think that is going to happen tomorrow, or do you think Shefali Verma will, simply thrash Shabnim Ismail?
Yeah, so I mean, outside of the fact that I'm all about support for the Momentum Proteas and obviously should be having a good day with the ball. But I think, firstly, the contest between South Africa and India is always a very tight contest, and I think that Shabnim Ishmael is raring to go back to the field and be able to have a good day at the office, and I'm hoping that that's what we will see. That she'll be able to pull through with her pace, with her good line and length, and be able to get that crucial wicket, especially with the Shafali Verma's wicket. So of course there's going to be some contest, but I think Shabnim will be able to walk out stronger with her pace, that with her hoping that she gets her line and length right, and she'll be able to read the wicket and see how she needs to bowl that line and how she needs to bowl that length to Verma. And so we're looking forward to her getting that crucial wicket.
Interesting. Now that we are talking about matchups, like Julie mentioned about Shabnam Ismail and Shefali Verma, Dhanush, I'd like to get your thoughts. Do you see any matchups from Indian side? Maybe Rajeshwari Gaikwad versus Laura tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely. There is going to be a lot of matchups. First of all, the big matchup will be India's batting, how they are going to play against the amazing pace attack of South Africa, because Ayabonga Kaka, Marizan Kap, and Shabnim Ismail have been the top, maybe the top three fast bowlers in this whole tournament, because they have around 28, 29 wickets amongst themselves. So they have been really good in this tournament. They have stepped up in every single game and have taken the responsibility and bowled well. Yes, that Australia match was a bad one, but Australia has a different batting unit altogether. So tomorrow, that is India's batting and South Africa's bowling is one thing I'd be looking forward. Especially, I want to see how Smriti Mandana will be attacking, or will she play defensive tomorrow, because she loves to hit the ball. When the ball comes to the bat really well, she goes for her drives and tries to score big runs from the very beginning. So I feel that Shabnim Ismail versus Priti Mandana, or any matchups like that, is going to be really amazing to watch. It will be important. It will be India's top three against South Africa's top three pacers, and I want to see how Indian batters adapt to it, because they haven't had the best of World Cup so far. So I feel South Africa coming into the match, the bowling unit will have a upper hand over the Indian batting unit. But Indian batters, it is a must-win situation. So I feel that they will be on their shoes.
Absolutely. I think, as Dhanush has mentioned, that there could be some good matchups that we will be looking at. But again, just going back to Chloe Tryon's media interactions. So, Dinesh, I would like to ask you that she mentioned that there will not be any specific game plan against individual Indian players, but they'll try to execute a game plan from a combined cumulative perspective. So, what do you think will be South Africa's approach tomorrow against India?
Yeah, look, I think we're going to play tough cricket. We're going to come hard at them. I think Chloe didn't want to give off too much, but I do think that they will analyze certain players that can take the game away from us. Look, if you look at the warm-up game, India beat us just marginally, but it's still a win. And then we had the series with them in India, which we did really well. We did successfully well. But I I find it hard to believe that they won't see the likes of Smriti Mandana or even Verma or Matali Raj. We're gonna have to have plans against these batters, because if these batters get in, they can singly handed take the game away to a 290, 300. So I think maybe Chloe didn't want to give away too many secrets there. But I think the units plan, the whole team's plan is to play hard cricket up front. If we bowl in first, we're going to attack that off stump line. We're going to make them play their shots. I'm hoping to see that we actually execute plans for certain deliveries. Whether we play towards their strength, but we have a field position set for that. I'm excited to see, match plays like that happen in the game. And in terms of a batting front, look, I know I want someone who they'll be looking from someone from the top six to bat all 50 and to get 100. If we get that, then we're preparing very well for the semi-final. But yeah, I think it's going to be an attacking brand of cricket, and I think there's going to be a few feisty heads out there. Because I love it when India and South Africa plays. I always think that there's good sportsmanship, but it's good for female cricket. You just see the energies from ball one. So yeah, let's see what happens tomorrow.
Definitely, it's a very feisty game out there, which makes me think about Lee. If I can, do we have you here? Yeah.
I can hear
So
you.
Lee, yeah. So I would like to know your thoughts on, like, SA has been in a very great momentum here in this World Cup, and tomorrow would be like the last match before the semi-finals. Do you see after the whole run of tournament, SA would like to rest a few players or maybe do some changes to the playing 11 tomorrow?
So we're playing against India, and it's not going to be a walk in the park. So I'm pretty sure that Coach Hilton and the management would want to have their best team on the field tomorrow. And so I doubt that they will rest any strong players like your Marizan Cup or whoever. They'll definitely want to have a strong team. And I always talk about that number 3 position. We still don't know if whether they might decide to bring in Lara Goodall, but that's something that we're yet to see. But I'm pretty sure that they want to be able to have a strong side that would be able to beat India. And so I'm hoping that will all the facets, all the areas work properly tomorrow in the next game, because I think, as we have assessed in the previous games, yes, we've built momentum, but I don't think we have seen the team play at its 100% form, where we have peaked and that all the other areas are working the way that they should. And I think we've seen in the game against West Indies where there were wickets falling nonstop. It was actually quite surprising, where I saw that we had gotten, like, I think we were 4 wickets down. And so I thought to myself, this is not how you want to be playing just a couple of games before your semis. And so I'm hoping that in this game against India, we'll be able to have a good day at the office, where I know that from the bowling to the fielding to the batting, that everything works the way that it should. Because I mean, we're nearing the semi-finals, and you want to know and trust that this team, when it reaches the semi-final stage, whatever team that we're going to be playing against, that everything will work the way that it needs to. So yes, the momentum has been there, but we haven't played that kind of cricket that we always see the momentum Proteas playing. And I'm looking forward to seeing everything working the way that they should in the next game against India, because the only way in which we can beat India is if we have a really solid start in the beginning with Lizelle Lee and Laura Wolfhard, and then we have someone in the middle that will be able to continue making sure that the scoreboard keeps on ticking. And then they rotate strike the way that they should. And then we potentially have a Chloe Tryon that is able to finish off the game quite strong for us at the back end. so that we could have scoreboard, but have someone that will be able to consistently be there and be able to bat throughout. But also we need, from the bowling side of things, we need, Shibi to step up. We need Ayabonga Kaka to be economical. I always call her the economical queen. Be able to get there, make sure that she squeezes the runs in between, but make sure that even our fielding works well and we get those crucial catches, because that will separate us from India and make sure that we win the next game against India.
Absolutely. I think as Lee has spoken about Lizel Lee, of course, and I remember the 2017 World Cup when South Africa beat India. Lizel Lee top scored with 92 runs. So from an Indian perspective, I don't want Lizel Lee to fire tomorrow against India because we know what she can do. All right. So Mir, do you think that there will be additional pressure on India given the fact that they are going to play a do or die match against South Africa, who have, of course, won the first four matches, then they lost to Australia, and of course a rain abandoned match the other day. So do you think there will be additional pressure on India?
I don't think so. There is additional pressure, but yes, the match pressure, the situation will demand some cool heads to be there. Maybe they might have a phone call from MS Dhoni, might just help out to cool up and uh, pep up the team or something like that. But yes, I don't think so it's added pressure. It's a game pressure which each team would have. Like South Africa would also have a pressure to perform well, keep doing well, what have been doing it as well. So not additional pressure, but yes, just keep calm heads, know your job, do your job, and just don't get stuck in there. Like too many dot balls will kill you, like either batting first or while chasing. You have to keep moving. That has been a problem with the batting this tournament. I would not say, like, if we still win tomorrow and if we go to semis, we would not say okay, India might is still not the favorite, because South Africa and Australia have played like they are champions, like they are the two teams which people are calling should be in the final. So you have to bring your A game and show the world like you are also a champion team, and maybe give a good send off to Mithali and Julian. I'm not saying they should go, but it is there. They have to do it for themselves. And those two players like Julian has been doing well, but Mithali has to step up. It is there. And one thing, while we just Lee was mentioning about South Africa taking crucial catches or something, India has to hold on to their catches. Tomorrow is a day you cannot drop a sitter also, or a difficult chance. So half chances have to be converted into full. It is there. So it is that kind of a game. And if the situation is such, we are playing three finals, I would say. Tomorrow's game, semis, final, and finals. It is there. You lose, you're out. So it is a three virtual knockouts if I have to count like that.
So just to tell you, Mihir, you have made a couple of good suggestions. I remember in the last conversation you said that probably India should have Rohit Sharma at the toss because he seems to win every toss. So maybe we can have Rohit Sharma for the toss instead of Mithali Raj, and probably, of course, a phone call from MS Dhoni. I think who is busy playing IPL today as Chennai Super Kings is playing. All right. So yes, Urvi, on to you.
Yeah, pretty much well summed up, Mihir, of what India needs to do tomorrow is to just get the job done and stay calm, like just cool headed, focused. And I feel that would be the same thing for South Africa. Just stay in the game, don't let the catches go, don't have too many dot balls. So, Dinesha, I would like to know. I remember the last time South Africa toured India, and it was quite competitive environment in Lucknow, if I'm not wrong, in 2021. So, do you feel that now that they are meeting again uh, for the final game, should South Africa keep something in mind that they should definitely focus on playing India tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely. I think firstly India's gonna come out for revenge. We saw a snippet of it in the warm up game. So I know that India is. Oh, I know what cricket means to India. Well, what cricket is to India, and I know how passionate the girls are, but I also know how we as South Africans are as well, and how competitive we are as well. So there's lots of learnings to take from that India series. We can look at, obviously, okay, it's different conditions, but more or less the team composition doesn't change as much. And that's why it brings me back to that point of we know what India is capable of, and we know what individual players can do to a team. Because sometimes you just need one player gets 100 out of not much balls, and the game automatically shifts. So we've got to be wary about that. We've got to understand the lessons that we learned in Lucknow when we played there. Where's so we look at the top six, even though I'll consider Vastrika as a as a bowling all-rounder. I think she's really handy with the bat. So then we'll need to look at the areas that they're looking to score. Look at where they look to score in New Zealand. Are we going to bowl those sort of lines, or are we going to push them to play a wrong type of line, or where do we want to get hit in our zones? And then I think just from the batting perspective, I would love to see strike rotation, especially against spin. I wouldn't say we're big boundary hitters against the spin, but I think India has an excellent spinning attack. Let me just say that. So we've got to figure out where we're going to get our one from. Once we figure out where we get our one and we run well between the wickets, then it's easier to find the boundary option, because then we're getting ourselves in by running between the wickets. So I think it's going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be a fantastic match, actually. Yeah, hopefully no rain, but I just think South Africa has to take learnings out of the India series, also in the warm-up game, relevance to what's happening in the World Cup, and execute our skills on the day.
I think it is going to be a competitive fight between India and South Africa, and we hope to see one tomorrow. So, Dhanush, that brings me to the question about India's bowling. So, in the last match which India played against Bangladesh, we saw Meghna Singh making way for Poonam Yadav. So, do you think Meghna Singh will be back in the playing 11, or India will persist with Poonam Yadav?
I feel that based on the conditions in Christchurch, it's more spinner friendly, is what I feel. Because the way we have seen two games here, if I'm not wrong, today's game was also in Christchurch, right? So it was 3-4 for Nidadhar with the ball. So I feel that India is going to continue with Poonam Yadav, because maybe she's bringing in more balance into the side. And also, if you see South Africa's batting unit, they haven't been as good against spin when you compare them to fast bowlers. And Rajeshwari Gaikwad had a pretty good amount of control against them in the warm-up games. So I feel that Rajeshwari Gaikwad is going to be a key player against South Africa tomorrow, with Poonam Yadav. And Sneha Rana got a 4 for in the previous game. She's been looking really good as well. So India's spin department will be controlling the whole bowling unit for sure. And tomorrow's game against South Africa, especially, they have to make sure that they get their wickets, because Lizzie has got a couple of good starts in the tournament, and she going into the semifinals, she wants a big score on her name before going to the semifinals, right? So I feel that she will be in an attacking mode and an aggressive mode. So I feel that she has to be stopped, and I feel Indian bowlers have to be taking early wickets, making sure that South Africa are not in control at any stage while batting. Because if the openers sit there, because Laura Wilford is a definite player who is going to be playing a long innings, is what I feel. Apart from the match against West Indies, where she got out for just 3 runs, she has been excellent. She's keeping her calm out there. She's getting adjusted into the conditions well. And when she gets adjusted, she tries to score runs quickly as possible, and she's been doing that throughout the season, throughout the World Cup. So the making sure that the South African batsmen don't take away the game as early as possible, because if you get the two early wickets in the openers, the middle order, which hasn't been performing well, will be exposed, and you can rattle them down as early as possible, is what I feel. So that is what Indian bowlers has to do. They have to take early wickets in the very beginning.
Yeah, I would just like to add something here that I totally agree with Dhanush here that Rajeshwari Gaikwad would be a key player tomorrow. I remember in the South Africa series, she took about like 8 wickets in the entire series, and she literally made it very difficult for the SA batting order to actually score runs. So she would be a vital player. So I feel, yeah, I just wanted to add that she's going to be a very key player, and if she happens to start early on for us, then maybe we get what Dhanush is wanting, the top 2 wickets.
So top four maybe, just like West Indies did to South Africa, 22 for 4 in 5.3 overs, if I'm not wrong. Probably the
Yeah.
Indian bowlers can take a leaf out of West Indian bowling stage and do something to South Africa. All right, so Lee Minion Dupriya in the last match against West Indies, of course, she was looking good, really good. Unfortunately, the rain had to cut down the match. But I think she scored 38 not out. So how big a plus is that for South Africa? Because she's the leading run getter for South Africa, and how big a plus will she be?
Yeah, and I need to just mention that I was really happy to see Minx be able to have the kind of game that she had against West Indies. And like you said, it's quite unfortunate that it was an abandoned game and it wasn't recorded. But also I want to add that to echo Tanisha's words, I mean, for a change, it's great that for us that it rained and then we were able to get at least 1 point and we didn't have to play the entire game because, the cricket gods were on our side. Thank goodness for that, because I think if you guys remember the T20 ICC World Cup in 2020, the game that we played against Australia 8, there was some rain interference. And I always speak about, if there wasn't any rain interference, probably Laura Volford would have gotten her momentum and be able to get us over the line. So that's a big conversation that I always talk about. So at least the rain was on our side with this West Indies game. But yeah, like I was saying, it's just unfortunate that for Mignon du Preez, that even if she had a good time with the bat, it's quite unfortunate that it wasn't a game that was recorded. But I think for her, because as you've seen that she hasn't started the World Cup quite well with just going out cheaply. I mean, there was a game, I think she had like 11 runs, and then there was one run that she did, and then she hasn't been having a good time with the bat. And so for her to be finding this rhythm now at the later stage of the World Cup, I think it is good for her, because it means that we're going to crucial moments of the World Cup where we require, senior players like herself to be able to make sure that we can rely on her when, wickets fall, when we didn't even expect. And so she can come in and be able to really solidify our runs and be able to lay that foundation for the runs that we expected from our openers. And so I'm hoping that even in the next game against India, let's hope that we're not going to have that kind of a start that we had against West Indies. And then, but if it happens, God forbid, that we find ourselves in the same situation, that we will have players, experienced players like Mignon du Preez, to come in and step up and be able to at least take our runs to 250, because you need that from our senior players. And so I'm just happy for her. We don't know if she's going to come back in the next World Cup, but if she were to end this World Cup, at least she ends it on a really high note, because she has been one of the most crucial players within the side for many years. And so I'm really thrilled that she's getting her rhythm later on in this World Cup.
Absolutely, I think it is.
If
Yes, Mihir.
Yeah, if I just may add just the first point what Lee just mentioned and the rain gods being on their side, I think so it was a similar date from 1992, I think so, a day here there, where the rain gods were not on their side, and Duckworth Lewis took the game. It was, I think so, similar dates, I think so. It was there. So
Exactly.
it was a good pay. It was a good payback, I think so, from.
Yes, it was. So that's why I'm not mad that it rained. It rained at the most important time, and so at least we could secure that 1 point that allows us to be,
Yes,
in
I
the
think so, and it
semifinals.
was, I think so, that was March 22nd, and I think so this was March 24th or something like that. So yeah,
Wow,
almost similar times, like 22
that's
years,
interesting.
30 years
Yeah,
apart.
yeah, sure, crazy.
Interesting analysis, Mihir. Great memory, I must say. All right. So, Lee, as you were talking about, and of course, Dinesh was talking about the rains which played a spoil sport during the T20 World Cup. So, if we can imagine, if South Africa would have won that semi-final of the T20 World Cup, probably it would have been India versus South Africa in the finals. So, let us hope that in this World Cup, we get to see India playing against South Africa in the finals. So, it all depends on tomorrow's match. All
Yeah,
right.
it all boils down to whether you guys will be able to beat us tomorrow. So we yet to
For,
see that.
so just before the conversation, we were trying to negotiate with Dinesha. Now we'll take this opportunity to negotiate with you, Lee, as well. Probably you can just tell the girls to go easy on the Indians tomorrow, and maybe they can play the finals later.
Maybe have a Sunday break, something like that.
Right. Absolutely. So before we start taking questions, my favorite part of this discussion is predictions. So Dhanush, if we can start with you, you can predict the score as well as the team that is going to win tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely want India to win. But on the other hand, if you see South Africa, they won't take this game lightly. Because if they go into the semifinals with two really bad games behind them, they will have that psychological impact as well. So I feel that they will be looking for the win as well. And from heart, India has to go and make sure that they give the 100%. And the ball is in India's court, like I'm saying. And as far as score is concerned, I want India to, if India bats first, I feel that they have to post somewhere around 260, because today we saw New Zealand post 265 out there, and it is a pretty much scoreable ground where you can put up good scores on the board. To anything up beyond 260 is going to be good. And with the South African batting, especially with the way Laura Wolfert has been playing, she literally, like how Dinesha says, having a having her day job happening out there from to playing almost the 50 overs out of the game. So I feel that it's important for India to score big runs on the board if they bat first, and the bowlers have to take early wickets with the ball. So those are the two key things for Team India in tomorrow's game.
Right. So, Lee, your quick predictions.
My quick predictions. So I remember 2019 when we had gone to India. We didn't have a good series against India, and I think the one of the most well something that I picked up when we had gone to India is that Lizelle Lee didn't have a solid start and a good partnership with Laura Wolfart. And in the one game that we won was when Laura Wolfart and Lizelle Lee had a good partnership, and I think they almost scored about. I think Lizelle maybe even got 100. I'm not quite too sure, but it was really good scores, and those set us up for a win against India. And that's what I'd love to see against India tomorrow. Is if we just have a good solid start with that opening pair. And so I'm predicting 260, 270 plus odd runs on the scoreboard. And that if we do that, then we're winning this game hands down. But we also need to keep quiet certain players. Um, Mandana, obviously, we need to keep her quiet with the bat. Harmanpreet, we need to keep her quiet. The certain batters that we make sure that they don't get their rhythm, because as soon as they get their rhythm, it might be a bit difficult for us to get those wickets.
So I think advertently or inadvertently, Lee has told us that Lizzie Lee and Laura Wilford should not score big. So hopefully the Indian bowlers are listening to this and they just send them packing early as possible. And of course, Harmanpreet Kaur, who scored a century against South Africa in the warm-up match, so I'm sure that she'll be raring to go against the Proteas. So Mir, your quick predictions for tomorrow's game?
Opposite of what just Lee said.
So you want the Indian opening pair to score big tomorrow?
Yeah, obviously, like see, be it any game, obviously it's a very crucial game for India tomorrow in the campaign. So openers are the key. It is the and we know how talented Smriti is. She has to, she has to keep rotating. She, if the ball comes onto her bat nicely, she will go with her drives. She will score runs quickly. It is there, and then whoever is at the other end. She has to support her, and openers doing well in a chase or batting first sets up the game. It is there, so I have no doubt like Smriti will do good tomorrow, and if he bat first, 265 should be the minimum target in our mind where the team has to go with it. Below that, if you there, it's a game where you are just playing catching up. Like South Africa batters have been a good form, so it is how you get early wickets or something, and then you can put the pressure. But 265 will give you a match pressure, because dot balls will come, and 265, no time you will have the required run rate going above 6. Either we are batting first or South Africa is chasing. It is there. So yeah, so that is one thing I would say, like 265, and obviously India.
Of course. So finally, Dinesha, your predictions?
Yeah, I think everyone
Obviously.
said it. Oh well, the total. I'll also be happy. Anything, well, a minimum total of 270. What I would like to see in this game is someone from South Africa get 100, someone from India gets 100, goes down to a nail biter in South Africa's favor. That's it.
Coach
Perfect.
Denisha, can I just say my heart cannot handle another nail biter. I can't. I'm sorry. No ways.
Apparently, the pump in the adrenaline is really good. It's good for the body. I've been feeling younger lately.
Maybe a nail-biting victory once more tomorrow will give South Africa a big dose of confidence booster going into the semi-finals, where they will feel like we won 5 nail-biting matches in the league stage. 2 more to go, we can do it. I feel that feel will come for India if for South Africa if they manage to win tomorrow. But yeah,
Uh,
India are not so easy to beat.
and if it goes to a nail biting, I would like to repeat what Ravi Shastri said. All the 3 results are possible. India win, South Africa win, or a super over also. As he's back in commentary, I would like to just quote Ravi Shastri back also.
Right, right. So just like the South Africa West Indies match preview, I think the match has again begun between India and South Africa. Thanks to, of course, our experts over here. So finally, we can take some questions that we are getting from our fans. Okay, so Vinay Kumar is asking, seeing how spinners have been effective till now, why South Africa don't have quality spin bowling? Dinesha, would you like to answer this?
Yeah, I'll go for it. It's an honest question, and I like that. I think the South African pace attack has been so good. It's so difficult to bring in a spinner. Look, we missing Dane van Niekerk, who's world class, absolute world class athlete, great leg spin bowler. That was a big blow for us. Sune hasn't been hitting the straps for a while, and I think there's some issues that she would have to sort out within herself and her game. And then you have Nonkululeko Mlaba, who's sort of a rookie when it comes to spin. There's still lots to learn about her game. But I think where we've been blessed is the pace attack has been so good. I think South Africans produce a lot of pace bowlers. And we haven't had to go to, like, even if we play in Asian countries, we go with the full pace attack. Very rarely you'll see we play three or four just spinners only. And then obviously Chloe was a left arm seamer, and then we've changed her into a left arm spin now, which helps. The only thing with that is that when the girls come back home, and us as a country, we've got to invest in spinners. So we've got to have spinning camps. We've got to know how to bowl in South Asian countries, how to bowl on flat wickets. We've got to educate the girls. So I love the question. It's an honest question, but I think we've been blessed with pace bowlers and intelligent pace bowlers that is so far it hasn't been a weakness as yet for us.
Mm. But also, just to add on, we actually do have an extra spinner, but it's just that she's not part of the part of the team. She's what do you call this, Denisha? She's
Traveling.
a traveling reserve, and that's Raisibe Ntozake. We've seen the return of Raisibe come back because she was, I think, is the word banned the right word to use? From playing international games because her action was questioned, and so the ICC allowed her back into the system as well. And so I think that's why she even got an opportunity to be part of the ICC team. It's just unfortunate that she's a reserve, but she's also one of the spinners that have been part of the South African spin structure, and so we know how she's been playing for the Lions women's team, and so I just actually look forward to her coming back into the system, because eventually players like Dane will retire at some point, and I think she's in her mid-20s, so she'll probably even get an opportunity to play in the next World Cup. Who knows? But coach, what South Africa's team is all about, the paces, because we have experienced world-class paces, but we still have a lack as far as the spinners are concerned. But hopefully with coaches like Coach D, they'll probably change the system at some point, making sure that we are able to produce spinners for the future.
Absolutely. Great. All right. Can we have the next question? Okay, Tanvi Shah is asking, will India opt to have Deepti Sharma tomorrow in playing 11? Dhanush, would you like to answer this?
I don't feel so. I guess Team India will back their playing 11, and now it is a crucial game. They don't want to do any changes in the side. I guess they had a very confident victory against Bangladesh, and they are playing against South Africa, which is a very good team. And they have the playing 11 that they had. They brought in Poonam Yadav in the previous game, and she has fit in well with the side. So there is no requirement of bringing in Deepti Sharma. Even Shafali Verma also will be continuing with the squad, is what I feel. And I don't think so India have to think about doing any changes, because it's the last match of the league and you are trying to get into the semi-finals, and there shouldn't be any hassle in the playing 11.
Right. So according to Dhanush, probably an unchanged playing 11 from the Indian team that we see tomorrow against South Africa. All right, can we have the next question? Okay, Priyansh Pasi is asking, should Harman come at number 4 and give bowling? And also, what is the weather forecast? And should India be wary of Lizzie Lee as she's due for big one? And she scores a lot of runs against India. Absolutely, I think Lizzie Lee loves playing against India. So, Mir, would you like to take this up?
Okay. Harman at 4 maybe depending upon the other situation out, but I'll take up the bowling part what has been mentioned. It is like that. I don't think so she is bold in this tournament. The need has also not arised that much. We dropped Dipti, still the need was not arise, so I don't think so. Now you've got Poonam Yadav also in the mix, so you already have three good spin bowling options, and so I don't think so she will be bowling tomorrow unless something happens drastically where she has to roll her arms over. It is there. But yeah, and about Leslie, I hope she's not due for one big one tomorrow. That's like, yeah, but yeah, you have to find ways to keep the batters like this quiet. It is like create a bowl at a line or a length where they have few dot balls, so like two or three dot balls on a trot in a over will put pressure on any good batter. It is and in any situation it is like that. Don't give easy singles. It is like I've seen a lot of matches. India has given easy singles to new batters also, or batters who are there on the crease also. Like if you want to create a pressure in terms of getting the wicket, it has to come through dot ball. Like you don't have a magic ball always coming up, pop out will turn magic and uproot the stumps. You have to create the pressure with your fielding. Your close-in fielders have to show good energy, put pressure on the batter so they cannot have easy singles. It is like that, and that can happen if India does stick to those plans. I'm just hope they do well, and we have a good, fantastic Sunday tomorrow.
Absolutely. Well said, well said. All right, I think we have one final question. So if we can take that up. Okay, I'll just check. Okay, I think we don't have any. I apologize for this. All right. Okay, sorry. We have one. So Vinay Kumar has another question. Dinesha and Lee, let us exchange our wishes. Tomorrow you pray for us, and in semis we'll wish for South Africa to win. Wow. Yes, Vinay. I think Mihir, Dhanush, Urvi, we all agree with you. Lee, your thoughts on this?
That's very
We
funny. So he's saying that we must exchange prayers and then they win, so that when we get to the finals, semifinals, then they win for us. Then they pray for us.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
so funny.
So
you'll have
I
1.3
No, that is.
1.35 billion people praying for you.
imagine Lee.
That's I think so. The Africa continent put together. So, yeah, you have to.
That's a lot of people praying for us.
Yeah.
I think the cricket gods are already on our side, so I don't think we need prayers from India. but no, but truth be told, no, I definitely want to beat you guys. There's no way South Africa needs to beat India tomorrow, and those are hard facts. Because imagine if we lost against you guys, then that means we have to find form again, go back to the drawing board instead of just building the momentum from winning against you guys. So I definitely want to go into the next game against India, making sure that we win it, and we win it very well. Right, Coach D?
Yeah, look, I agree with you. Momentum is a massive thing, and you're getting that close to the semi-final at your door. We want the momentum on our side, but we'll still accept the prayers. There's no harm in that. We'll take that. But yeah, let's hope it's a crack of a game. Look, I'm really excited for it. And I'm sure the whole of South Africa and India is as well. So all the best. May the best team that plays good cricket on the day win.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
those
also hope it's a cracker of a game because except for the Australia England game, which was a 300 game where they're chasing, there was not any such very close game. It is up among two top sides, and as just Lee said, like if you beat like a team like India might not be in a top form, but India is a team to beat for everybody. So you don't want to drop that momentum going ahead, but then. That's the way it if a team has to keep momentum, you have to beat good sides. It is there, so you cannot drop your guards.
All right, great. So I think as Dinesha was mentioning that she will be, of course, supporting South Africa, but I think before our conversation, she said that her mom is a big fan of Indian cricket. So let us hope that Dinesha's mom continues to support the Indian team tomorrow against South Africa. All right, great. It was wonderful talking to you, Dinesha, Lee, Dhanush, Urvi, and Mihir about this exciting contest between India and South Africa. Lee, yes, you are wishing us all the very best. We wish you the same, but yes, I would again like to tell you maybe the South Africans can go easy on India tomorrow and give us the semi-final position that we are looking at. All right, so thank you once again, and thank you to all the viewers and fans for watching this. And we'll be back again shortly at 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time to preview the match between England and Bangladesh. So do join us for a conversation today at 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time and send us your questions using hashtag Female Cricket Live. Thank you.
Thanks,
Yes.
guys. Bye.
Thank you.